So Valve has hit us with a massive update that includes major changes to both utility and the economy, along with some pretty spicy changes to Vertigo, along with a few other changes to skins and bug fixes. We're going to go through all of that in a condensed highlight video on the update, right after I thank today's sponsor, SkinsMonkey. So, SkinsMonkey is an automated CS2 trading site that provides an instant way for you to get new skins. All you have to do is select your old skins that you don't want anymore and then pick out some fresh ones to trade for. It's as easy as that. And right now you could get a free $5 if you use code TACTICS on the site. And finally, you could get up to a 35% deposit bonus when using my code. So thanks again to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. Links in the description. So let's go ahead and get started by talking about the changes they've made to the Incendiary Grenade. These are some great and much needed changes. They have reduced the price down to 500 to buff the CT economy, but at the same time, they've nerfed the grenade itself a little bit to where it's a bit smaller than before. This is going to help maps like Inferno that felt a little bit claustrophobic with the sheer size of those CT incendiary grenades. The Molotovs have not been changed, which is going to have a pretty interesting effect. So now let's go ahead and talk about how big of an impact this change is going to make on a map like Inferno here in Banana. On the old version, an incendiary thrown from this position, where you would aim at this cluster of lights, would typically expand all the way to this corner and this corner. But in this version, it's not going anywhere close. You compare that to the T's Molotov that hasn't been changed. Well, let's go ahead and throw that and notice the difference. As you can see, this is spreading all the way up into this corner, all the way into this pocket. This Molotov is huge comparatively, and this is going to be a big nerf to CTs on Banana, which was very much needed. And one thing you'll likely notice is the fact that the incendiary grenade is now a bluish tint at the very beginning, to where you can distinguish this a little bit easier. So here you can see the Molotov on your left and the incendiary on your right. You can definitely see the difference in the timing, how the incendiary is a little bit shorter than the Molotov. So one very important thing to keep in mind as a CT is whenever you see a downed Molotov that the Ts have dropped, it's going to be very meta to pick this up. Just for an example, this incendiary grenade, as a CT back before the change, would have completely engulfed this bomb site. But take a look now, there's actually a pretty massive gap right here along the side. Now, you compare that to the T's Molotov, and you're gonna see a pretty big difference. That exact same molly is gonna land here, but it's going to completely engulf the bomb site, leaving nowhere for them to possibly plant. This is a much larger piece of utility, so picking it up as a CT is gonna be vital. Another big change they've made to Molotovs is the height of the flame. If you take a look, this is one of the meta mollies thrown. This is on the old version. Notice how gigantic this flame tower is here. It completely blocks off all visibility if you're crossing towards connector or getting up close to ramp. And when comparing that exact same Molotov in the new update, we'll notice how much smaller this tower is and how much quicker it goes away, to where there's not much obstructing anymore. They've also made a few broader economy changes as well, and the most important one in my opinion is the fact that they have reduced the T-side plant bonus from 800 down to 600 whenever the bomb is defused. That's going to decrease the impact of those first round losses and should buff the CT side a little bit. And of course, along with that, they've reduced the incendiary down from $600 to $500 and the M4A4 down from $3,100 to $3,000. As a result, that's going to give the CTs an extra $200 every single round to play with if they're going for that A4 buy and an incendiary, which will lead to some more flashbangs being bought. So as you've probably been noticing in the background footage of this video, they've made some major changes to Vertigo. They've added a catwalk by A site connecting to the back of A. They've removed connector between the back of A site and the elevators. They've opened up a passage between elevators and scaffolding. They've slightly tweaked the size of A site. They've tweaked spawn timings, and they've made some adjustments to the wingman layout of this map. That is a lot of changes to unpack, so I cannot wait to see what type of utility boosts and all sorts of other things that people start to come up with. And speaking of boosts, now you can jump on top of a teammate's head behind this railing and see all the way back into CT spawn and cut off the rotate, which is absolutely unbelievable. This boost is also pretty insane. If you jump on a teammate's head here, you can watch both side haul as well as spot towards the back side here of ramp. This is a pretty powerful boost that could catch a lot of players off guard, especially early on right after this update. And as crazy as this may seem, they've now made it to where if you buy a key for the kilowatt case, you can either open to keep one weapon just like normal, or you can open to rent every single weapon from this case, excluding the knife, for 7 days. Pretty interesting to be able to test out these skins. I'm curious to see what the results of this are on the skin market and how they go about implementing this into other cases, or if it'll just be only new cases, who knows, but a really cool feature added in by Valve. So yeah, guys, those were all of the major changes for this update. Of course, there were other minor tweaks and things like that that you can read in the release notes linked down in the description below. But anyways, those are the things that I found most important from this update. Let me know what you guys think about this update. Was this a good change to Vertigo? Were the economy fixes good? Let me know what you're thinking down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.